How is it, everyone? Today, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about and looking in depth on Corsair gaming stock. Now, this stock just recently went IPO, just about a month now. They haven't even been public for more than a month. They just went public around the end of September. So this is a brand new company to the stock market. And the thing is, I've been actually using these products from this stock or from this company for years now. And I didn't even know that they're basically, this is a very interesting gaming type of computer hardware company where they own vast amounts of different businesses in the gaming space that have incredible potential for growth. I'm going to be looking at all the businesses that they currently own, and at the end we're going to be looking at their financials and stuff like that to see if this stock is a buy, because this was definitely very interesting and it caught my eye. Right before we jump into it, make sure you guys sign up for Webull if you haven't already. It's a great brokerage. It's better than Robinhood by far, and it actually has customer support unlike Robinhood and a lot of other like app-based brokerages. Now, this is a great brokerage for both PC and obviously for mobile or an app. If you guys sign up in the link down below and you deposit $100, you get 3 free stocks. So definitely make sure to do that if you haven't already. So let's jump straight into it. Now, the thing with Corsair gaming stock is within the last month, it's gone up about 60% since IPO. Now, if we look at their I think this is more accurate. So they went IPO around September 23. And since then, it was about $17 a share. It shot up to 20 and now it's at $32 a share. So it's up quite a bit, right, since IPO. But despite all of that, the 4 PE is still looking quite good at only 20, like under 25. It's only at 23 PE. Even after going up 6% yesterday when the time of you guys watching this. But I'm going to be looking more into the financials later. So Corsair Gaming, what do they own? If you guys haven't heard about this company, and if you're not really a big PC guy, you probably don't know. But they basically own like Elgato, which I'll get into all of that. Their big companies are Elgato, Origin PC, and Scuff Gaming, and obviously Corsair. Now, this is kind of what they have. They basically own all PC type of parts, right? So let's say you want to build your own computer, right? It's probably cheaper. So let's say you guys finally want to get to building your own PC. You're probably gonna, if you're in the market of a high-end PC, even the medium to high-end market of building a PC, you're probably gonna go with Corsair. Like me personally, my case is Corsair. I think my power supply is Corsair. My fans, my obviously my case, I believe my RAM, my keyboard, I recently switched from Razer to this. So like most of my computer related products are Corsair made. And if I do go to upgrade my PC case, I'm most likely going to go with Corsair. They make some really quality products in a decent amount of value, in like a quality, and they last pretty long. They also make kind of like CPU, the main chips, right? They make the coolers for those. Mine personally, they even make water cooled ones that are pretty budget friendly. For like $70, you can get a water cooled PC, which is pretty like, for like $100, you can get a dual fan one, which is pretty rare. Not many other companies are doing that. And on top of that, they have great like software, right? So they have like very good dedicated software to actually combine like how your things work, how loud the fans are, to see if everything's working well. So they have good like software integration, right? So that's definitely very interesting. So they own all of this, right? So basically, if you're a PC gamer or like you edit videos, or you're an editor, or you're even like a graphic designer or motion graphic designer, stuff like that, you might very well be getting some of these Corsair type of products. So this is probably their main business in terms of revenues, but they definitely have some crazy like big other businesses that they own. So number one, they own Elgato Gaming, and I've personally used this in the past, and they basically have a wide variety of products in terms of the gaming space. So their main product is the capture. So let's say you want to stream video games, right? If you guys don't know, video games is streaming online, like I think broke records in terms of amount of viewership live. But let's say you want to stream. Let's say you want to go on twitch.tv and stream, or stream games on YouTube. You can stream anything, but I think the main thing that people do tend to stream is gaming. You're probably going to get an Elgato. That's the main like capture device out there. And with an Elgato, you can use it to connect to like a computer, a PC, even a like Nintendo Switch, like even those random consoles, obviously PS4s and Xboxes and the brand new PS5, stuff like that. So if you want to stream online, you're going to use an Elgato. If you want to actually stream and use something called a Stream Deck, they have that. They have like a green screen panel that's actually pretty popular. And the reason I like this isn't an ordinary company in my opinion, but the reason I like this is because their marketing strategy is phenomenal. Basically, the way they market is they literally go to, like, they don't go to huge companies and market on like billboards and stuff. They don't market on like sides of TVs or on like literal TV. They literally market like to people that are streaming it themselves. So let's say you're watching the biggest streamer out there and boom, you see that they have the Elgato green screen. They actually sponsor those people to actually promote it to their customers, which is very, very smart in my opinion. And I've used an Elgato personally. It's a phenomenal piece of equipment and it works really well. You guys can see these are a lot of huge streamers out there and they all use Elgato. And the way they actually market is phenomenal, like I said. But yeah, you guys can check this out for yourself. But they own a lot of great stuff. They've even gone to lighting and stuff like that. If you go on Twitch's website, they actually recommend Elgato's lighting as a high-end, great lighting thing to use. So that's that. Next business they own, I'm actually gonna skip to Scuff Gaming. They have very, very similar marketing strategies, Scuff Gaming to Elgato, and I feel like Corsair as a company is very smart acquiring these companies. They've literally, what Corsair has done is they found opportunities to like acquire startups, and these companies are not startups anymore. Like they sell and move quite a good amount of products now. Corsair is about right now at a $3 billion market cap. It's not a huge company, but I do think very well that this company will be able to hit $10 billion in market cap in the far future, right? In the near to far future. So obviously all it takes is for them just to continue growing like they're growing revenues, which I'll get into later in this video. And I don't think that's far-fetched at all to do. If we look at what Scuff does, right? Okay, let's get to Scuff. They basically own anything with controllers. They make custom controllers, right? Guys may think, oh man, that's all they do. Like they just make controllers. How big of a market that can be, but you'll be surprised how many like people play video games and actually do go ahead and buy these Scuff controllers. I've personally never owned one, but I've known like a ton of people that actually have one. And if you play like any type of game, even semi-competitively on console, you're gonna get a Scuff, like guaranteed. You're gonna buy a Scuff. And I was about to buy a Scuff, I just didn't because I didn't want to throw $160 on it. But even at $160, $170, people buy Scuff controllers. It's actually crazy. Let's go on YouTube, right? Let's search Scuff controller. I filtered it by top by the week. So the top people by the week, right? You guys can actually see that people actually use Scuff pretty good. Like you can literally see in the thumbnail, like people are using Scuffs all over. But the thing with this is that, okay, the top video has 1.2 million views, right? Let's click on it. And if you go down, you can actually see that like these people promote Scuff in their descriptions. That's how this company markets. So out of these 1.2 million people watching this channel here, right? You're probably going to be watching this channel and see that wow, this guy's playing so good, right? This guy's one of the best Call of Duty players. Out of these 1.2 million people, you're probably going to buy one. Like there's a good chance that out of these 1.2 million people, you're going to buy one. And Scuff doesn't pay him to put that in there. He gets a commission out of it. And the way that these people market is just phenomenal. This is only in the last week. So if we scroll down, 800,000 views, 60,000 views with Scuff in the title. Dude, easily like even if 1%, even if 0.5% of people watching this video go ahead and buy a Scuff, that's a lot of people from one freaking video from a week. So you have all these people. I think this is a German channel. And he's even promoting Scuff. Like it's pretty international. Like this is a pretty international company. And you can see thousands of views here just in the last week of Scuff controllers. And this company has been around for, I believe, at least 3 years, maybe four years plus at least. So this is a pretty well established company, and just another type of high-end like gaming products that they own. The last thing that they own is Origin PC, and basically they operate in the like PC space, and they actually build high-end PCs. This is another company that Corsair acquired just a year ago, and they have very similar marketing strategies. They actually either send PCs to very high end like people. So like this is instead of a normal company, let's say I want to start a company, I'm gonna have to pay somebody like $10,000. I'm gonna out of pocket for them just to shout my company out, right? Do a sponsored video, 10,000 to get like a million viewed video. But instead, what this company does is they actually build their own PCs, send them out, and then at the end of the day, the cost of me sending out that PC is going to be a lot cheaper than me having to pay someone 10,000. Like, yeah, it's a $2,000 PC, but it only cost me $800 to make it, $1,000 to make that PC. So I'm only paying $1,000 to have my product shouted out to that guy's channel. So they basically send the person the product, the Origin PC, and that person makes a full video with his brand new PC. He titles it "My New Setup." It gets a million views, 100,000 views, and boom! With $1,000, you're probably gonna get $10,000 plus of sales, of profit. And very similar, they own the high-end space, just like the other products, and it's definitely very interesting. But what is definitely crazy about this is that it comes full circle. So let's look at one of their PC. Let's just I've never owned an Origin PC. I've built my own, so let's just pick this one, right? All right, boom, this PC. What parts does this PC use? This PC literally uses Corsair parts. Who owns Origin PC? Corsair does. Corsair owns Origin PC, so they literally use their own products that they make themselves to sell their own thing, their own PC to people, basically pre-built. So Origin sells pre-built PCs. Let's say, oh man, I don't want to spend 4 hours out of my Saturday building a PC. I'm gonna just buy one. I'm gonna spend $100 more and buy my own PC. That's pre-built for me, etc. Look, okay, so their motherboard's MSI. That's not Corsair. What is their RAM? Corsair. Their cooling is AMD, but you can upgrade to Corsair. What is their system fans? Origin. They make their own system fans, but what can you upgrade to? You can upgrade to Corsair. Their GPUs are NVIDIA, which is actually great because they're one of the best PCs, and I believe from watching their interviews with the CEO, they're one of the biggest in this space in terms of what am I saying? They're one of the only ones actually have good software that connect with NVIDIA, with Corsair. And what is their power supply? Corsair. And if you look at their like add-on stuff, I believe you can also add on Corsair peripherals as well. Basically, at the end of the day, it comes full circle. So by Corsair acquiring Origin PC, they can cut their costs down so much, and that's actually kind of crazy. So this has been it in terms of what they own. If you want to actually see the numbers of how many people are streaming, even before the pandemic, let's take 2020 out of the equation, right? Let's say 2020 never happened. The amount of people watching people on Twitch, which is basically live streaming. So people live streaming most likely are going to be using either an Elgato Stream Capture, Elgato Stream Deck. So we already said that a streamer is going to use one of these three products and most likely promote it, right? So the amount of people watching streams has literally 10x'd in the last 8 years. It has 20x'd actually in the last 8 years if you count 2020. And the amount of people actually streaming, like new streamers, is now 88,000 or 86,000 in 2020. If you don't count 2020, it's only 50,000. In the last literally 8 years, it has, I don't even know what is that, 25x? It's literally 25x in the last 7 years, which is crazy. So that number is going to continue to grow, and more people are going to be streaming. And this is Twitch. This isn't YouTube. This isn't any of those Chinese streaming services. We're only talking about Twitch, which is primarily US and Spanish. And there might be some French and German stuff, but mostly Twitch is US and Spanish speakers. So that is crazy. So there's definitely a ton of growth in the streaming and gaming streaming sector. Let's go to their actual financials finally. This company is kind of expensive. If you're talking about just looking at the monthly chart, it has gone from 20 to 32. It hasn't doubled since IPO, but it's almost doubled, right? So I would definitely put this in the watch list first of all. Their forward P is only at 24. That is crazy. Their trailing P is expensive, but we're looking at forward P, which is what I usually look at. It's only 24. That is crazy numbers to look at. Let's look at their financials though. Their revenues, let's go down to revenues. Look at this. They've literally grown every single year in the last 4 years, which is exactly what I usually like to look for. And in 2020, they've grown. Look at this. They've literally grown every single quarter. They're now at 450 million revenue in the last quarter. Let's round that up to 500,000. Let's say they can get 500,000 in 4 quarters. That's 2 billion in revenue. Their last quarter was 1 billion in revenue. They've literally going to be doubling their revenues in 2020. And we've kind of established that by looking at the numbers that it's not necessarily because of COVID. Obviously, COVID is going to help them a lot. And if the lockdown extends even more, then obviously this is going to continue growing. But despite the lockdowns, despite COVID, we've still seen revenue spike every single year in the last 3 years, even before COVID. Now, the only bad thing about this stock right now is obviously the revenue is good, stuff like that. Let's look at their balance sheet. Their balance sheet isn't up to par, in my opinion, which is probably the only bad thing I could say about this stock. In terms of their growth, is they only have like 50 million, right? That's pretty low. 50 million is pretty darn low. They've made 50 million in profits in the last quarter, which they should be adding to that. But when you look at a market cap that's 3 billion, 50 million is pretty low. They should at least be at maybe like 100 billion and stuff like that. But honestly, 50 million is still not too bad, man. Like it's still cash at the end of the day. Their debt is bad though. If you look at their debt, if they had no debt, 50 million is fine. But if this much debt that they have is probably the bad thing. Let's go down to their debt is at around there it is, all the way at the bottom. Net debt 450 million. 500 million debt in total. That is big. Now, I actually listened to just last week, the CEO of Corsair actually did an interview on CNBC. He talked about how the reason they have this much debt is that they're just trying to expand. They just want to keep growing. Obviously, it's a growth company. That's going to happen. They said that they keep on acquiring startup companies that come to them that they see good opportunity in. In my opinion, them acquiring Elgato and SCUF is definitely very, very smart, in my opinion. They are good at looking in the future, that's for sure. But the thing is, the CEO is also the founder of the company, which, if you guys know, is a very good plus. It's a very big plus. If you're the CEO of a company and you founded it, then that's a big plus. Most of the founder-led CEO companies are actually tend to do really good. You look at Facebook, Tesla, stuff like that. All those companies are founder-led to this day, and they've done exceptionally well. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video for me talking about Corsair stock. I'm personally very, very intrigued. I haven't bought into it yet, but I'm very intrigued. If it falls under $30, I'm gonna buy it for sure. How much? I might slowly build onto my position, but at the end of the day, this is looking like a very, very good opportunity for growth in the future. Last thing, let's just look at is the analysis. Next year, they've only expected to do 2.4% growth, they're probably gonna do much more than that at the end of the day. As you guys can see, analysts in their last quarter, they blew analysts out of proportion by 100%. So it's something that they don't really look at all too much. Even their analyst targets at 32, even after being up so high. The stock is just at 32 today, and I think tomorrow, since futures are down, or today when you guys are watching this video, that should be a pretty good buy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel. It'll mean a lot, and I'll see you on the next one.